You see, my brother from another mother, everything happening in your business right now is a mirror reflection of what's going on inside of you. You're co-creating all the good stuff and all the problems in your business too. If you have employee issues and you're stressed out, I've gone through lots of those too. You're co-creating that, and as soon as you take responsibility for it, I literally stopped eating dinner because I had to make this video. I guarantee you I got food in my teeth right now. I'm excited. Everything that the pain you're experiencing right now, from work being underbid to employee issues to you having to run out and fix problems, and you're on the phone at the dinner table. Maybe you're supposed to be sitting with your fiance and you're on the phone at the dinner table on the couch. You're supposed to be watching a movie, and you're like, I have to. Your business is becoming a chokehold, and you're spread so thin. You're not getting any sleep. You're probably eating way too much fast food. You're not hydrated. You're probably stressed out, or you're just crushing it. I'm crushing it, making so much money. Or, I don't know, but I know what it's like to run a landscape business and go through the whole thing. And I want to tell you some real quick, powerful tips that have helped me tremendously, because not only have I been running a landscape business 15 years, and I've had dozens and dozens of employee issues, people not showing up to work, people breaking stuff, blowing up equipment, literally getting in car accidents, fleeing the scene of an accident after I had an employee rear end an off-duty police officer, and then flee the scene of an accident. And he came back to my house, which was home base at the time, and cops surround my house, bro. And he shows up in the work truck. I'm like, what is going on? That's a different story for a different time. And then luckily nothing happened. And then the police officer came up to me and asked me for a landscape quote. I love our police officers. I actually do. I really do. I honor and respect any police. So anyways, here's my point. Running a landscaping business is really hard. Okay, if anybody could do it, the cliches are real. Everybody would be doing it. The problems that you're going through, you might be growing too fast, and you're in cash flow purgatory because everything you make goes out before you can even get a penny of it in the bank. It's all going out. You might have had a whole bunch of money come into the spring, and you bought a bunch of stuff, and now the money ain't coming. There's 100 different issues, but I encourage you to find other brothers in the industry who have been through all this stuff. Here's one lesson I learned from a good friend of mine who owns multiple businesses and has 120 employees. One time I was having employee issues, and I was like, dude, I have this employee, he doesn't show up, then he shows up and he does great. Then he shows up and he slacks. Then he does amazing, but then he wants to go home at 3 o'clock, and after 3 o'clock I literally can't get him to do anything. But then he's great again. This business owner told me, he goes, man, I've been in business for 25 years, and here's what I learned. Some employees, you're just going to get what you're going to get out of them, but the good thing is, that's exactly what you're going to get from that guy, and it's predictable. Do you have somebody else right now in this moment that you can hire who's an A player to come in and replace them? If not, then keep that guy working. You need his help. Look at the big picture and zoom out. Has this guy showed up semi-consistently for all this time? Now, if you're at a point in your business where you only can have A players working for you, then you should do that, because A players will take a B player and pull them up and make them an A player. But if you have C players in your business, the A players will literally leave because they can't work with C players. If you read the book Top Grading by Brad Smart on audible.com, he talks about A players, B players, and C players. Like Steve Jobs from Apple only hired, I was thinking of Jeff Bezos for a second from Amazon. Steve Jobs from Apple hired A players. And he said once you get A players around each other, it's amazing because they become this ecosystem and they all keep each other accountable. They're A players, right? If you have a C player come in or a B minus player, they won't even want to mess with A players. They can't handle the pressure. They'll quit. They can't even be in the environment. So are you showing up in your business as an A player? How are you showing up in your business? Because the way that you show up in your business, and do you do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it? Do you honor and respect your employees? Do you treat them with dignity? Do you treat them like real team leader, like you're a team leader and they're your team? Do you have a culture in your business. If you have these things and you don't just look at them like they're just like your workers, right? You can learn about this stuff by listening to Traction. I'm tired. I had a long day. I'm still in my landscape clothes. Traction, Get a Grip, and Rocket Fuel. These 3 books by Gino Wickman. He also wrote a book called What the Heck is EOS and EOS Life. There's another book by Dan Martell called Buy Back Your Time. And there's another book by Dan Sullivan called, he's the strategic coach. Dan Sullivan wrote a book called Who Not How. Read that book. And then you can read other books like The 48 Laws of Power and Mastery by Robert Greene. And as you learn all the stuff and you go to business conferences and masterminds, you start to sort all this stuff out. But the one thing I learned the most is when, it's 2 things. One is when you take yourself more serious and you realize how valuable and how worthy you are, and you take you and your business way more serious than you are right now in a positive way. Like you raise your standard. You say, like, it's not okay to not be doing this well in the business or have this much in the bank. It's not okay to flounder around and to my friend William calls it pussyfoot around. He's awesome. He gives me pep talk sometime. He'll get on the phone and yell at me for 15 minutes and I'm up moving around organizing my trailer. I love him. He's awesome. We just did a shop tour with him. It's coming out in a couple days on my YouTube channel. So, but anyways, the second thing is you have to see it all as an opportunity. If you're drugged down to the point where you're in depression or even worse, apathy, where you feel like all this is happening to you and why is this happening, you're living in what's called the caged life, where you're in an effect of everything, you're not seeing it correctly. I would implore you to really think and zoom out and say, you probably live in the best country in the world. If you have all your fingers and toes and you can think and blink and talk and actually get out of bed and go, like, there's somebody right now who, I don't want to go too far in this, but there's somebody who's immobilized or has a disability, or somebody who like served our country and they have severe PTSD, and much honor to our veterans, that literally is so stressed out, the smallest thing can make them feel anxiety, and they want to, like, they have everything it takes, but they got PTSD. Think about that. Right? I don't want you to think too deep about that, because that's not what this video is about. But that person has some other hurdles to overcome or throughout their day that they have to work through, and they're still running successful landscaping businesses. Some of our veterans run the most successful landscape businesses. I've met these people, and they've overcome all that. What the fuck do you got to complain about? So get up, have some gratitude, raise your standards, and really, really, really just get crystal clear. And I'm not telling you, I'm here with you. I've been through so much in my business, stuff in my personal life that I don't talk about, that I've been through, that I had to overcome to still run a landscape business. Like, I'll tell you, I have an old sick dog. My dog throws up all night. He keeps my wife and I up till 4, 5, 6:30 in the morning, and I have to peel myself out of bed. I'm late for jobs. It's like I love our dog, and he's very old, and it's like, this is really, really tough right now. But that's just one of the things I'm going through. We all go through stuff. That's what makes you stronger. It's building character in you. Let's go. Let's get it.